For perhaps the first time, Donald Trump is very clearly and very definitively lying about what he'll do if some sort of federal abortion ban is put on his desk if he becomes president once again. This is what he screamed into the ether of Truth Social last night after the topic of abortion came up during the debate and Vance came out of it not looking great. He said, everyone knows I would not support a federal abortion ban under any circumstances and would, in fact, veto it. Because it's, by the way, if you're on the podcast, this is one massive block of text, every letter of which is in caps, which is, normal decorum for past presidents. But anyway, because it's up to the states to decide based on the will of their voters, the will of the people. Like Ronald Reagan before me, I fully support the 3 exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. As I always say, yeah, good luck actually getting to use those in these states. I do not say, and then he of course goes on to the lying. So how dare they lie and say that I would pass a ban? I, the guy who killed Roe v. Wade. They support abortion in 7th, 8th, 9th month, or in case there's any question, the possibility of execution of the baby after birth. Look, I know that if you're a conservative and you're watching this, you love that lie that he tells. You know it's a lie, but you like that he tells it because you know that the majority of the American people think that your positions on abortion are super radical, and you'd like the idea that it's both sides on being radical on this topic. It's not true. It's simply not true. It's not a thing that happens. It's not a thing that anyone's advocated for. He's just making it up. He's lying. And he's also lying about what he would do. Look, the idea that he wins Republican Senate, Republican House, they pass the ban, and he's like, no, I can't, because years ago I Truth Socialed that I would veto it. So I'm now duty bound to, come on, who the hell thinks that he's gonna do it? I will remind every one of you, all of those justices that voted to kill Roe v. Wade during their hearings said, settled case law. Come on, the precedent? It's decades old. I'm not a legislator, I'm not an activist. I would never kill Roe v. Wade. They said it because that's what they needed to say to get on the Supreme Court where they could kill it. And Donald Trump is saying this because he thinks this is what he has to say to get into a position to kill it. I'm not even saying that he particularly cares to kill it. I don't think that he cares about abortion all that much compared to other politicians, but I do think that if the Republicans make it happen, I don't think he's gonna be the principled crusader for rights who's going to shut it down. But feel free to disagree, Sharon. What do you think?
No, I agree wholeheartedly. It's not going to be shut down by Republicans who follow their dear leader or by Trump. They're going to proceed with this. They don't care what women across the country think. They don't really even care about what women in swing states think. It's why Mr. Marino, who's running in Ohio, made those remarks last week saying that, he was sick of these single issue voters and something about women being over the hill and not having much fertility, just paraphrasing. So no, Trump is gonna just fall in line. He just wants to be in power, make money, grift, whatever. He'll do whatever they want.
Yeah, well, look, Elon Musk had tweeted that he doesn't even need to say this, Donald Trump, because it's so clear. He's always been super clear about this. Okay, so first of all, remember when he was asked about the Florida abortion ballot measure, and he's like, "Oh, I don't want to say, I don't want to say if I'm going to vote or whatever." Like all of a sudden, super coy, which is weird for a guy who's so clear about this issue. And Elon Musk must be right. I mean, he's a literal genius or whatever. But anyway, obvious BS. We put together a little mashup of some of the times that he's been really evasive on this topic. Take a look.
Would you veto a federal abortion ban?
I'm not going to have to think about it because it's working out so well right now.
Federal abortion bill, if it came across your desk.
Well, you don't need it.
You won't need it, but hypothetically, if it did.
Well, I don't want to answer a hypothetical. You don't need it. However, there, of course, remains a vital role for the federal government in protecting unborn life. We'll get something done where everyone is going to be very satisfied. I believe that.
On the national level,
I think we'll get it done on some level. It could be on different levels, but we're going to get it done. I know the issue very well. I think I know the issue better than most, and we will get that taken care of.
Oh, expert on this topic, definitely. And so all of those quotes, like if you care about this topic, it should deeply worry you about what he would do if he was president. But also Donald Trump crying foul, like how could they act as if I've ever been anything other than clear? It's because over and over and over again, you haven't been. You constantly flip flop, and now you're running scared because you know people don't agree with you, so you're trying to hide your position, the same as JD Vance did at the debate. And I understand it's good politics to hide your position because your position sucks. But I think it's important that the people know this. And by the way, there's growing evidence in the polling that a lot of Republicans, when given the chance to vote on these ballot measures, are not lining up with JD Vance, let alone Donald Trump. We have this exit poll in Michigan back in 2022, showed 14% of Republicans supported the state's abortion ballot measure. That number was 18% in Ohio in 2023. Some recent states this year show Republican support between 28 and 54%. There was a Fox News poll that showed in Arizona, 50% of Republicans plan to vote for that state's abortion rights amendment. In Nevada, it's 54%. So we reference that. That's where it's the highest. It seems to be a thing where as you go west. And this is why he doesn't want to be super clear. He knows that it's not just that there's a lot of libs that care about this. Not a lot of Republicans simply do not line up with Donald Trump, let alone no exceptions under any circumstances, JD Vance. And so important that people understand that. But Sharon, what are your thoughts?
I just don't even know what to say about these guys anymore. And I don't understand. So I turn from them to our fellow Americans once again. If somebody's going to tell you, look, I'll give you box A, give me $5,000, but you don't get to see what's in it. Okay, I'm not going to tell you. You'll find out on, November 6th or something. Would you really do it? Or would you say pound rocks? I mean, come on. This is really not that difficult. Yes, perhaps there's brainwashing, but it's not that difficult. People are being willful in their ignorance here and blind in their support.
Yeah, 100%.